Using a map and compass is a relatively easy skill to pick up and to master, and once you have, it opens the door to thousands of new adventures. Today, I'm going to be showing you how to use either your phone or an orienteering compass to navigate and orientate a map. There are a few elements of your compass that you should be aware of before we start. This here is your direction of travel arrow. Underneath of it is your compass housing. It rotates to allow you to find your bearing. On the compass housing, you have parallel lines. Those are used to orientate your map. Your magnetic north needle shows you where north is. On your phone, your direction of travel arrow is this vertical line here. Your compass housing is all in one with the compass needle, and it turns by itself with the needle. And here is your degree, or the degree at the direction of travel arrow, which makes it a lot easier to read. This map in particular is an orienteering map. The red lines are your course. Today we're going to be using this because it's larger and easier to show detail. As you can see, there are many different symbols on this map, and each map has a different set of symbols and a symbol key, also known as your legend. Here we have different types of vegetation and terrain. We have different bodies of water, small ponds, springs, lakes, uncrossable water, marshes. You have buildings, ruins, impassable cliffs, boulder fields, gullies, all these different information that can be useful when navigating and plotting your course on a map. The first step to using a map and compass is orientating yourself and your map. These blue lines are your longitude lines. They line up with your parallel lines on the compass. In order to start, line up your north on the compass housing, this arrow here, with your direction of travel arrow. Then line up those parallel lines with the blue lines on your map, or the vertical lines on your map. Then the next step is to rotate the map and the compass as one in order to get to this north. Line up the north on your compass housing with the north needle. So I'm going to rotate the entire map until the north needle and the north arrow are both in the same direction. Now the vertical lines on this map are pointing north, and the map is orientated for. As my map is orientated, I don't want to move the map at all. So I don't want to move it around. I want to keep it orientated straight north. That will allow me to get accurate readings and bearings off of this map. So currently, I'm going to start at the start line of this orienteering course, and I want to go to the first checkpoint. So I'm going to line up my direction of travel arrow with the red line on this map. So lining up my direction of travel arrow, which is this arrow here again. And now that I have it, I'm going to hold on to my compass housing and turn, or my compass base plate, and turn my compass housing until the north arrow is even with the north needle. Now that it is, I can read the degree here and figure out what my bearing is to the next checkpoint. In this case, it's around 160. Again, moving from point 1 to point 2, I'm going to line up that direction of travel arrow with my red line going from point 1 to point 2. And once again, I'm going to hold on to that compass base plate and turn the compass housing until that north arrow is lined up with the north needle. Once it is, I can read my bearing right here on the direction of travel. And in this case, it is around 56 degrees northeast. Moving from point 2 to point 3, I'm going to once again line up my direction of travel arrow with the straight line between point 2 and point 3, and I'm going to turn my compass housing till it's lined up with that north arrow. And then I can read my bearing. In this case, it's around 189 or 188 degrees southwest. Here we have the Philmont North sectional map, particularly looking at the Baldy skyline area. And we are currently in Baldy town, and we need to get up to Baldy Mountain. So we need to take this trail here, and we're going to say that it follows this general path. The first step, as always, to orientating is to orientate your map. So line up the side of your phone with those south to north lines that are called your longitude lines. Line your side of your phone up and rotate your phone until your direction of travel area here, or direction of travel line, lines up with north. So I'm going to rotate that until the direction of travel arrow lines up with north. Now that it lines up with north, just slightly. Oop. Now that it lines up with the north arrow, I can begin to orientate and figure out where that trail is. So I'm going to again follow the line right here and assume that that is the direction from the Baldy Town to the trailhead. In fact, if you look closely down near Baldy Town, you can see that the start of the trail right here lines up pretty much with that line. So I'm going to take the side of my phone, line it up, and I'm going to see that to start off this trail, I have to take a trail that is 226 degrees southwest from Baldy Town. Now you might ask, why can't I just go straight up the mountain like this? Well, you can't go straight up the mountain because A, you should always follow improved trails or trails that have been designated and maintained. You should never bushwhack. And also because, as you can see, there's a bunch of squiggly lines on this map. Those squiggly lines actually mean something. They represent your elevation. In this case, each line represents a 50-foot gain in elevation. So the closer those lines are together, the steeper the canyon is, that hill face is. In this case, these lines on Baldy Mountain are really close together. That means that that face is really, really steep. And in actuality, it is. And so the best way to get up Baldy Mountain is to go and follow a trail off to the side where you zigzag up. You have switchbacks, and that spreads that elevation change over a larger distance. Now for my challenge to you. Below this video, you'll find a Google Doc link that has a couple of different pictures from all the way from Santa Claus Staff Camp to the T-Rex track. Your goal is to get Santa's sleigh all the way from Santa Claus Staff Camp to the T-Rex track using nothing but dirt roads and trails. Dirt roads are these double hashed brown lines, and trails are these black dotted lines. For now, you can ignore this red shading on this part of the map. Just treat that as a normal part of the map, as a normal feature of the map.